All right, boys and girls. So yesterday we introduced last time we were in class, we introduced the topic of finding a solution to a system. Okay, telling me if a point is on two different lines. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how you can find that point yourself. And the first method we're going to learn how to do that is by graphing the two lines. So we're going to start with two lines. Two lines. And we're going to graph those lines. Hopefully you remember how to graph a line. So I'll graph this second one first. What is the y-intercept here? Positive 2. So I'm going to put a dot on positive 2. What is the slope? Negative 4/3. So I'm going down 4, right 3. You're going to want to do this a couple of times. Now, you might need to go the other way. The nice thing about doing this on big ideas is when you click 2 points on making the graph, it will fill the whole line up for you. We don't have that luxury here. So there's our line. All right. Let's graph the other one. Y-intercept. What's the slope? So where we're going to go? Up 2, right 3. And you need to tell me the point where they cross. Just drawing the graphs is not enough. You need to tell me the point they cross. They cross right here at 3, negative 2. That's the point where the two lines cross. That's what we're trying to find. Now we could double check this with algebra and plug those points back in. All right, if you have any questions or if it's not working out right. We're just going to work on the graphing for right now. Let's do another one. So, two equations. What do you notice about these equations? Yeah. So, in order to graph them, we're going to want to get y by itself. So, it takes 2 steps to get y by itself. Does anybody remember the first one? Remember, these are not like terms. You cannot combine them, just write them down. When you write them down, put the x term first because that's where we're used to looking for our slope. All right, what's next? Just write this as a fraction because that's going to become our slope. So now, y equals negative 2/5 x minus 1. I have this in y equals form. Any questions how we got that there? All right, now we can graph it. What's the y-intercept? What's the slope? So I can go down to right 5. Again, just for kicks and grins, we don't know where the other line's going to be. I'm going to do one backwards. So your first line, you need to make your first line kind of long because you don't know where it's going to go. Now, I need to do the same thing. Two steps to get y by itself. I subtract the x term, divide by the coefficient of y. All right? If you watch your signs, that might be negative sometime. You may have to watch your signs, watch your fractions here. So what's the first step going to be? y by itself. What are we going to do? Negative, negative is positive 1, so I don't need that. Positive 6. So now I have y equals 6. Now I have y equals 4. What's the y-intercept? What's the slope? So we don't see a number, but our slope has to be a fraction. So we know the invisible number is 1. So our slope is 1 over 1. So that means up 1, right 1. So again, if I have a real steady hand, maybe I'm probably going to put a couple dots here. Where do the two lines cross? That's where my two lines cross. This is the solution to the system. All right? This is what we're looking for when we do any of these problems. This entire chapter, we're looking for the point where the two lines cross. So today we're talking about how we can do it graphically. All right, let's do one more. Do this one on your own. All right, so y equals 4. I don't need to change anything. I'm happy with this one. What's the y-intercept? 0. Very good. Slope, negative 2 over 1, so I'm going down 2, right 1. Throw 1 the other way. So, is this in y equals 4? No, I got to get y by itself. First step. There's no coefficient, so I don't have a second step to do. There's my equation. What's the y-intercept? What's the slope? The other way. If you're doing this freehand, that's going to be a tough one. Okay, good thing we're on Big Ideas. Where do the two lines cross? Right there. All right, you know the drill. Take your time. Ask questions.